Okay.
How are you?
How are you?
Whoa. Okay.
That happened last time. Okay. That's fixed now. Remember that. Sorry about the slow start. I just you know, caught myself. Had to set up my safety so that you computer start. And just like my last show, I'll drop out, but my alt has a space junk, one word, at Google, Gmail, whatever it is, .com. I've just invited myself, and I've got a separate device, which worked last time. Because if it happens, when it will, I know it will. So when it happens, I'll just switch devices, switch this mic off. The computer decides to turn itself back on, reconnect the Hangout for myself on my Origins of Secrets channel. Then it'll just reconnect, and I'll just flick straight back over. We might lose audio or anything, something, who knows. But anyway, no one's here. I know. I might have one. I don't know. I don't think so. And I expect that. See, I'm not. This is for you. Okay, the end of the last video, which has no views, which I expect to have no views. I forgot to mention news. It doesn't matter. How many hear it? How many don't hear it? The road that leads off to life and salvation is tight and narrow and straight, and few are the ones walking on it. Broad and spacious is the road that leads off into the lake of fire. What we need, this message will be prayed the earth, and then the end will come. What message was that? Do we remember? This news. What is the good news? You may wonder. Well, a lot of people know. You just don't realize that in a position of not knowing everything's controlled. Basically, it's a game out there. When you understand that this system and it's not against us so much as in it's more because we've inherited sin. When put it this way, we inherited the knowledge knowledge bad, not the acts of good and bad. When because the knowledge of evil knowledge isn't evil inherently. It isn't evil. Evil knowledge is nothing. Evil knowledge can't hurt anybody. Evil action. It's a system that's set up in a way to that inherent nature, which is the knowledge of good and bad, in front of us and tickled and made part of like society. And what they've done, the way it's happened, is society has turned out to where it certain things are considered okay, and it gets worse and worse the further we go. Like everyone knows that desensitization of everything is the sort of system. It's the way it goes. It's the way it has always gone. Just getting it's exponential more and worse, because where do you go in the end? And I've noticed that Bibles start to come under attack. And as far as I'm concerned, back. So what I'm going to is in 8:30. So in I don't know, to 30 hours, 24, yeah, 20. I will be bringing a live show. It's going to be the Jesus secret, the secret about Jesus, but not really. It's been skewed, changed, totally steered in the wrong direction, and I think it's supposed to be that way. Well, it's, as far as I'm concerned, it's knowledge that was known, probably up until so many, maybe a couple hundred years or a few hundred years. The apostles had all disciples had all followers. So a few hundred years to get a hold of their bishops into the system, and that's when Constantine and it all starts to change. So what they did right. So that's how it's going to go. Okay. As soon as that happens, I'll flip over, and it'll start up again. And now it's waiting for me to sign back in. And yeah, like I was saying, it's going to do this. And I don't know how good the sound quality is or if there is any, but at least they can't shut my show down. Okay, at least my show can go on. Okay. Okay, so there we go. It did trip out, but it's okay. We're back on track. Okay, so here's how it's going for 30 hours. 30 hours. I'm going to go live. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce, and I'm going to do, okay, this is hard to say. To the ends of the, and whatever happens. And I know what's going to happen. I was trying to 7 explain 12 talks about how Jesus said that the dead in Christ will rise first. That's the bride of Christ. So the bride of Christ will rise. Those, when they join together with the bridegroom, which is Jesus, they become one body, just like a marriage. More than two spirits involved. A spirit is something that's been given life. In create God, from God, sorry, not through, from God, set free to be its own and came from them, but it was let go to be its own thing. In other words, God doesn't make things like we do, how we make things to work for us, exactly work, and we question. He and gives them their own ability and sets them free, basically. Okay. So this is this is how it will together, but they've taken the knowledge, okay, and they've manipulated us with it. In the last few hundred years, they've ramped it up, considering this double the amount of people that have lived here since of Noah. So the same amount of people that are alive, the amount of people that have lived since. Look it up. And what they've done in the last few hundred years is with the technology and experiments, they've learned to manipulate us. Right? What have they learned? What have they done with it? What the first militarized, okay, and then it ended up coming into the the public, but for government or militarized reasons, and learned how to control us through entertainment, through, well, put it this way, anything, anything the Bible or, or seem to be sought after, wanted, something that's you want it for greedy purpose. Learn to hone in on that. What they've then done is militarize that in the end. Now, and where we are is, as I was we're in a place where everyone keeps asking what's wrong with the world, like they are, and why can't we help, sort out this violence and all this sort of stuff. Well, for starters, why would you fight against the plan that God's to happen and unfold? Stop trying to stop it, for starters. That's not our job. Our job is to be faithful, okay, and to teach His word. So we're not even supposed to really be part of it. It's supposed to notice it, and that's why the Bible says we are no part of this world. If you'll be doing God, the will of God, and that will be your preferred over your own will. So this is how it goes. When we give free will, which God gave us, and we give it over to doing God's will, what have we just done? To be under His control by your own free will. And it's not a bad thing, it's only good, because He's only saying, He's only offering good. But He's also saying, like how I was saying before about how we make things, because we're made in His image, in their image, and we create things, but we create them and we put them under compulsion. But anyway, what I'm saying is, it's the same type of thing. We have the same setup. We live out rules too, basically. And we point the finger at God for things we do ourselves. The problem with us is we see ourselves and we put ourselves on where we can't actually comprehend ourselves being, but we put ourselves there because we are. And it's because we are omnipotent and that we have our own thoughts that um, protest against doing His will. When He's asking you to do less, He's not asking you to do anything. Why I find it strange people don't don't like the Bible or that sort of stuff. In general sense, I don't mean as in the real, in like even just the counterfeit all around. Everyone that they accept, that they'll then turn around and people will condemn God.
And there we go. Even though He's done nothing. And what, we're going to turn around and blame God because he stepped in and acted? Well, isn't that what everyone's screaming about anyway? They want Him to act. They want to see signs and all this sort of stuff. Well, okay then. Hang on. Okay, looks like I'm back on over there. Let me just wait for it to kick back in, and then we'll hop on over. Okay. Okay, I'll stop. I'll jump back. Okay. Right. They have too. What looks like's happened is they've shut my sound down on my other device, on my main device, my computer. Because it had I couldn't see the soundbar moving, and I'm like, what? And I looked, and it's not muted or anything, but still not muted. I mute it, and then unmute it. Hang on. Oh, looks. Hang on. No, I don't know what's happened to it, but it's decided it doesn't want to work for me anymore, which is fine. I expected that, and it looks like it's beast mode again anyway. So this is what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go on this device. I'm going to start on this device. So if you need to adjust your sound levels or whatever, if you already have, probably, go for it if you haven't. Anyway, so what they've done is they've put us in this state by learning how to manipulate us. And now we all know this. It's common knowledge. Everyone knows about it. It's not like they've hidden it from us. They brought the Germans over to America after the fight with Hitler, and they learnt all their ways of manipulating people, and that's exactly what they did. Since then, they've carried it on, and people call it all different. It has all different names, They're all over the internet. I'm not going to name them all because it just gives you hassle getting your videos heard and seen anyway, the way that YouTube is at the moment. But so I don't want to make it any worse than I'm going to get anyway, just because I'm talking about God, and especially after what I'm going to be bringing to you within the next 24 to 30 hours.
Yeah. Okay. So what they've done is they've taken this information and they've used it against us. Because think about it. Why do they have police? Why do we have government? Why do we have judges? Why do we have all these laws and rules? Why do we have them all? Because society, some people in society can't be trusted to follow the rules without there being penalties and whatnot involved. Okay. Let's see, my connection's been interrupted and all on my computer. It's just, she's trying to get back in. Yep. Okay. It's starting to get back into Hangouts, but like I said, I'm just going to stay on here. Excuse me. Just because it's, I don't lose connection here, and dropping in and out like that doesn't matter, does it?
When I can still like this, I can continue. See, look at this. It just added control room. It's saying that I just added control room, and I didn't add the control room. It's still doing stuff. It's trying to shut down my show. Okay. And I've got no viewers anyway, so I don't know what your problem is, guys. But yeah, they don't want you to know. Okay. Fair enough, because they've got all these devices, going so that they can listen in, and they know basically what I know. There's a lot of things I've kept in my head, so I don't, because I'm aware. Okay, so I've kept things in my head as well. Not broadcast them. Not spoken of them, I should say. What just happened there? Am I still on? Hello, testing. Hello. Yeah, it looks like it. You saw that? I don't know. Apparently I just left. And I didn't. Okay, whatever. Anyway, so yes, and what they've done is they've gotten to the point where they've learned how to control. Look at society. Look at the way they are, and why? Because if they wanted a better society where they didn't have to pay for all these police
need debt and stuff because
You know, you wouldn't have to buy. It wouldn't cost so much. You don't make the society into the way it is. They've created this society. The way the world is the way they want it to be. And it is that way because they made it that way. Because if they wanted it to be anything different, they'd use their techniques to, instead of getting people, which is their ultimate goal, which is what I say is wrong with the world, which everyone keeps saying, what's wrong with the world? And no one seems to have an answer. And they blame music and TV and video games and all this sort of thing. No, it's competitiveness. It's competitiveness. They've made us all compete against each other for the silliest, simplest, stupidest things, most vain things, and even things that are just kept secret to the person who's doing it. It's like it's only information that's in their head. They're the only ones who know that they're doing certain things. I'm just watching them screw around with my computer. Anyway, yeah, to do the stupidest things in a competitive way, and they're the only one aware that they're doing it to compete against other people, like women with makeup and cars and just everything, absolutely everything. Language, words, the way we all talk on our shows, and how you going, guys? Welcome to the show. This is the Aussies, whatever. Like everyone's out to impress, but it's all about competing. It's not really about bringing anyone together. It's about being better than anyone else, or at least good enough to be in a top class, which is classified by some arbitrary picture of a person whose attitude sucks. It's not based on love. It's not based on any real empathetic or any real heartfelt spiritual message or way, and we'll just spew. Oh, it's just horrible. This world's just full of it. And how people, we think we're complain about the ones who are in dark places, like the Bible says. The unstable will rule over you. Okay, so the mentally unstable will rule over us. It says that they'll rule over us, and we'll be places in dark, like darkness. And you're gonna love to talk that it's coming in a couple of days. Sorry, in a day or two, depending on whether it's 24 or 20 or 24 to 30 hours, if you know what I mean. You're gonna love it. You're gonna, so awesome. I can pull everything together. I understand so much now. The way that God is, it's amazing. It's literally like my head has had, how like Neo in the Matrix movie, how he learns how to do kung fu and taekwondo or whatever, and it's all downloaded into his brain, and it was induced. This is how it is. Yes, it's just like the knowledge. It's not even. It's amazing. The knowledge is just. It's like I don't understand really how to explain it. I was already privileged, very, very privileged. If you've seen my other channel, my original channel, and heard some of the teachings that I've done there. If you've heard about like how I've taught how the cross is Tammuz worship, and that's Tammuz worship. Then and how the Trinity is a lie. How Jesus and God, or just Jesus is the Son of God. You are gonna love it if you have the information, any of the information. I can tell you right now, if you think that I'm a charlatan, how many people have you ever heard preaching, right, that have ever said to you, you may have heard in the last couple of years since I brought it out, and said it on the internet, and debated a fair few people, and to a couple of people all at once, which was really, really fun. A simple question from the Bible that they should be able to answer straight up and not get it wrong. And as far as I'm concerned, proving that they don't know what the Bible teaches. How many people have you heard in the last 2 years? No, before the last 2 years, okay. And most of you won't have even heard it. That Noah, right? When if you look in the book of Genesis, chapter 7, verse 2, you'll see that Noah actually took 9 of each kind of animal on the ark. He took 2 unclean and 7 clean of each kind. Birds and everything he took on, he took 9 of each. Not 2 by 2, but 2 by 2. But I didn't know this until I read the Bible. So why don't these people know it who claim to know the Bible? So many people have you heard say that? You haven't. Just go and grab your Bible and have a look. And the problem I have with it is this is the 7th chapter of the book. Literally of the book. Not of the first book, but just of the book. And the 2nd verse into the 7th chapter. And these people believe, like sheep, that it's 2 when it's 9, and teach the Bible as if though they know what it says. With authority is what I'm saying. They don't have it. So that's why I'm trying to be as humble as I can. I don't want you to think I'm trying to boast to you or anything, but I've been given, and I believe a lot of people have been having their eyes opened and are seeing things we've seen before, especially when it comes to where we are and things on the real real way things are, considering where we can't look, but as far as what we can get our hands on and touch and see and feel and look at, anyway, we need to make sure that we scrutinize it, especially when we're ready to put our our lives in the hands of people who we're putting our spiritual destiny, our spiritual aim, our lives literally if they're lying to you, and on a simple thing like that, like if you go to church, grab the Bible the next time you're there and just have a look at chapter 7 verse 2 of the Bible, Genesis, and ask yourself, how come it says 2 unclean and 7 clean, equaling 9 when you've been told it's 2 and everyone believes it? But ask the guy who you're putting your spiritualities in the hands of. Ask him. don't ask him why. Don't just say, how come you say 2 and it's 9? Ask him, you know how Noah took only 2 of each kind of animal on the whole earth, not including fish, into the ark with him? And he'll say, yeah. And when he doesn't correct you, say, how come? And you can go from there. But obviously, how come no one teaches the truth about that? And have a look at his reaction. If you have to educate him that it's actually 9, then what are you doing there? And if this is something that you were taught through this institution that calls itself a place where Jesus is, that you're supposed to be searching for, so you can find your connection to God, because he's the way, then what is going on? How much do you really know? How much don't you know? Okay? Through what I'm going to teach you in the next 24 to 29 hours is going to be obviously true. You're not going to be sitting there going, this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. You're not going to be going, I wonder if this guy's telling the truth. You're not going to need to do that. I promise you won't need to do that. You know why? Because once upon a time, we all come back to the same source, which is God. Even Jesus, all of us, before he created anything, we all come back to the same source. So what else came from that source, if not just us, if not only us? Then the truth also resides and originates at that same source, which is God, Jehovah. Okay? So if what I tell you, what I'm saying is what I'm going to be telling you. Sorry about that. You are going to know is the truth. It's not going to be questioning. You're not going to be wondering. You're not going to be going, huh? It's going to be, you're going to be going, I know this. It's because all your being is the life force that made you, right? Which is your spirit, which they call your conscience, okay, is being reunited with the truth, okay, that came from the same place. And that spirit, which is in you, which warns you before you do anything wrong. It warns you before you do anything wrong. And once you do it, it doesn't really, once you've done it, next time you got to do it again, it doesn't really hassle you. It's already warned you. It's done its job. So that's why it's hard to get out of it once we desensitize ourselves to the evils in the world that we deem not to be so evil. But in whose eyes? Because just like these inanimate objects that we create to put under our compulsion to do our will, we were created too. And just like these inanimate objects that we make to do our will, when they don't do what we made them to do, when they malfunction, and they no longer, even after trying to fix them, giving them every opportunity, spending a lot of money, time and effort on making them work, and maybe we get them to work, maybe we get them to work a little bit longer, maybe we get them to work just enough, but we put a bit of effort in to try and repair them, okay, before we throw them out because they no longer do what they were made to do. This is exactly the same thing. We are created by God. We're creations of God. We were made to do a certain thing. Okay? We've been corrupted, just like a computer been given a virus, malware, corrupted information. Okay? So when it comes time that God says, right, I want to clean up and and I want to get rid of all the broken, all my broken creations that are no longer doing well. I have no longer got any ability of rectifying or giving an avenue to rectification of their wayward rebellion, which is just not doing what they were made to do, which is reflect his qualities, which is love. Then just like us, we're going to be discarded, not into a lake of hell, not into a hell of torment and torture and all this sort of thing. Why would God want to put any more effort in when he could just, like, wouldn't it take more effort to punish someone instead of letting them live and not be punished for it? Because then you don't have to do any more effort. Because that's just silly. It's not someone who seems to be very proficient, and God is, obviously. So no, if you understand the Bible properly, the hell, the word hell, right? Gehenna, sorry, Hades and Sheol, which are Greek and Hebrew and Roman, I think, pretty sure. These words were then by those same bishops, like in the year 400 and those first 100 years of the last 2 millennium, okay, started to twist it. They started to mix it with things and all that. And what they also did was they took the Viking, which is, these are the Nordics who were the giants, and these are the ones who had their parents in the underworld where they were, you know, they were in the underworld. That's where they had to live after their rebellion against God. Okay? And that's where Jesus, see, this is the thing. That's how I know that they have free will too, the angels. The fallen angels and all the angels, all have free will. I think all of God's creations have free will. And it's up to them to do his will. And he gives everything a chance. And the only way I know that, the way I believe that, and believe that I know it for a fact, and I don't actually believe it, I consider I know it, is because Jesus went to minister when he was in the belly of the earth for 3 days. When he, when they executed him on the torture stake. So you know these words: torture stake, not cross. Okay, storus. The original word storus means stake, not cross. They just didn't translate it and keep it the word stake. They changed it to cross so that they could appease the pagans, so they could join. That's what the church has been doing the whole time, just chopping and changing to suit others so that they can get the numbers. It's obvious why, because it's not the king that controls the country, is it? And you see, if the priest has enough influence over the people, then the king goes to the priest to get the priest to get the people to do what he wants, and the priest gets a kickback. Okay, see how it all gets corrupted? So that's way back. Okay. So all these bishops, there was only a couple that went against, like, introducing Christmas and crossing Christmas and the Trinity, and there's like out of like 14 bishops or something like that, only 2 that opposed it. So she goes on through, and they changed the Bible and says they'll seek to change times and that. So this information that I've been humbly given, I'm going to give release in the next 24 to 29 hours exact. Okay, and this video is for anyone who wants to anyone who wants to be there to hear. the truth about Jesus, about the creation of Jesus, about where Jesus came from. Because they are working against us. And it is all evil. If they wanted to, like I was saying before, if they wanted the system to be the way they want it, the way that they complain about it not being, then it would be. Because they make it the way it is. Because they influence everyone to be competitive and selfish. This system, if you have a look at it, it's not designed for us to be a family, is it? No, not at all. The fact that you have to, people vote, the fact that people petition to have rights that God gave you shows that you've given over to them. It shows that, you've given it into them. I don't make any of their money. I don't buy things at the cheapest price possible and sell them at the highest to make the most I can. I don't go and work for a company that, gives me more than I need to live. When I could, help starving kids in other countries, starving families, starving people that God told me to help, like the orphan and the widow, where he even says to help them with representation. And even with the little I have, I still don't deny people who ask of me if I have it. They just ask to borrow from me, then I give it, and I don't ask for it back, even if they say they want to borrow, and I let them know. And I don't borrow. I'll give it, but I won't borrow, because then I don't have any expectation to get it back. You can't disappoint me, and I'm following the rules, because God said, lend to all those who ask and borrow from none. Okay? So, the information I'm going to bring you, they have kept hidden for nearly 2 millennia. They have tried to scrub away, like God's name, from the Bible. But it's been there the whole time, this information. Just like the truth about what's going on now with the rapture. People aren't interested. People are too busy looking for a sign. Or the sign that comes with the message, that comes with my next video, that comes from God and His Son, will be a sign in your heart. And in John, it says here about the sealing. Where is it? Unless you people, sorry, but Jesus said to him, unless you people see signs and wonders, you will never believe. Jesus said, it's down here. Where is it? Yeah. No, sorry. Yeah, it talks about, God talks about sealing, to tell those angels who hold back the winds of the four corners of the earth to wait until 144,000 have been sealed in the forehead. It's in the book of John. The book of John is beautiful because, you'll see. Sorry, just bear with me for 1 second. Here. No, I keep thinking I'm seeing it, and I don't. I'm not seeing it. Just a second. Yeah, here it is. It's John 3:33. How amazing is that? I love Jehovah. Whoever has accepted his witness has put his seal on it that God is true. For the one who God sent speaks and speaks the saying of, for he does not give the Spirit sparingly. The Father loves the Son and has given all things into his hand. The one who exercises faith in the Son has everlasting life. The one who disobeys the Son will not see life, but the wrath of God remains upon him. You see how it's to talk about a seal? A seal, a lot of people are going to receive. We're supposed to get it. See, there's no way they can't stop. They can't stop the people that Jehovah wants to hear and to know Jesus. Because when I start this, it's all about showing who Jesus is, proving who Jesus is, showing that's what he was telling, and also providing it for those who need to hear it, to be sealed, for just to go, oh, because that's what I'm saying to you. Everyone will feel, their spirit will feel the truth, but not everyone who hears it will come. But everyone who's meant to hear it, for the sealing, for them to go, that's so, for them to go, oh wow, that's who he is. That's, and for it all to be put in place for them, because they've twisted a few important parts of the Bible to make to put people, basically to put everybody in a state of worship where they worship a false god. They don't worship God, not the true God. And they worship people who don't want to be worshipped, like Jesus. He doesn't know one to be under him. But at the same time, God says and tells us that we have to honor him. See, Jesus and all those who in the end are the saved, all the chosen, all the ones who have chosen God's side, all of those who are going to survive, all those who are going to live, and all those who are going to taste life's water free, drink from life's water free, live with God, and bask in the light. All of those people will be sealed before God steps in. God steps in when his Son steps in. His Son steps in when it gets so bad here. Okay, it's going to get really bad, guys. But he won't step in until it gets so bad that even us, the ones that are sealed, won't survive. Okay, so that there in itself tells you that God doesn't cause the tribulation. Tribulation is caused by man. They're controlling the weather. They're making earthquakes. They have a machine called CERN, has 100,000 times stronger magnetic field than the Earth, they tell us. People wonder why the magnetic poles are moving and why they're moving so fast and why they're moving. That's why I don't understand these people that believe in the ball. The both poles are moving up the same side of the ball. They're moving towards each other. Shouldn't they? Are they diametric? Don't they oppose each other? Are they antipodes of each other? Pretty sure. So how is this? If you know magnetic strength, you tried to make two negatives, try to push two negative ends of a magnet together, you get resistance. So and that's why the sun goes through its cycle where its magnetic field goes way out of whack, and then all of a sudden snaps back. It realigns itself. That's where they get the idea of this magnetic shift and stuff. This is how they played with everyone's minds. It's like they've had a long time to do this, but no one's asking themselves, how come they're moving towards each other up the same side of the ball? Like, they're both moving in an African-centered direction, which is more like a Argentine. No, sorry. What's it called? Genevian direction, I would say, where CERN is. They're both moving towards that direction, where the biggest magnetic field is. So CERN's probably what's doing it, and it ain't a pole shift. That's so silly. Like, and these people that worry about the Earth moving, like, if it was a ball and the magnetic field moved, do you know what would happen? The magnetic field would move. The crust isn't going anywhere. The crust isn't magnetic. It's the field that's magnetic, and it's because of the molten ball inside, which is in a liquid, which the field moves on, not the ball moves, because the field, when the field moves, it moves the point of magnetic north and south. So unless you introduced a third north or south, you wouldn't have any effect on them, but keep them opposite to each other, and they would just move. Do you know what I mean? If the magnetic field's moving, then the magnetic field's moving, not the Earth is going to follow the magnetic field. See, this is what they want you to believe and all this sort of thing. And they're bringing it all together at once. Like, they're showing, like, oh, look, UFO. And these are naval, these are fighter pilots that are filming it and all this sort of stuff. And they're showing us these, it's like this, it's like disclosure. It's happening, obviously. And they're showing us what? A moving saucer that's worse than the footage that came back from way back, like years ago, like 30, 40 years ago. They're telling us, look, UFOs, and they were denying a UFOs. It's worse footage than some of that. And they're saying it is UFOs, and it's black and white to boots, like heat signature style. But it doesn't matter. Watch the footage properly. This thing, what does it do? It flies along. It's tracked from the screen, and it does a barrel roll. It like flips upside down, and then it comes to a stop, doesn't it? Yeah. So what else do you notice? Why don't people notice what else is going on? Because not only does the so-called the the exaggerated UFO, apparent UFO disclosed, yes, look, we have an unidentified flying object, like whether we're prepared to say it's alien or some secret Russian, or German, anti-gravity vehicle or whatever, we don't know, but it's a UFO, and so they're slowly bringing it out, and all the alien stuff's just going through the roof, while my stuff, look at my views. Look at my original channel. So, it's a bit hard to justify the fact that people can't find my information. I have less views on my original channel than I have subscribers on that channel. and have had those videos have been up for like 2 years, even though there's videos there they're saying they've only been up for a year, but have been up for 2 years because I haven't been able to access that account for like that long. So there's no way that they can say that I made them any less of a time ago or whatever, not so long ago. Then I know I did because I haven't been able to get into it. So yeah, they're just, I don't know, they're just skewing everything. And they should even show me that, people aren't seeing much. And then I go around it and have a look and I see what's really going on, and I know that they've got it. So it looks like I'm there, but I'm not. And I'm hard to find, and you can't find my information unless you dig, or if you know me, or if someone points you towards me, basically. And even then, that doesn't mean that you would be up to date. Okay, that's why this has been a little bit frustrating, because the amount of hassle I've had, and as far as I'm concerned, it's supposed to be like that, obviously. But the amount of frustration that I've felt and disappointment in myself that I've felt, feeling like I'm disappointing God, has really got to me sometimes. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's not supposed to be anyway, as far as I'm concerned. Now, so what I was saying before, get back to, sorry, I went off on a little tangent. But yeah, so everyone who's going to be sealed by knowledge and then by faith that God, in God, like I just read, okay, that they believe in him. It's not a believe in believing, it's knowing. It's basically where I am, okay, but even I wouldn't consider myself, nowhere near what is a benchmark Jesus was trying to set, or that his apostles even did. I don't feel anywhere near worthy. I just feel grateful, and thankful, and humble, and very happy. So yeah. I don't know what else to say. Except I'm going to introduce you to the true Jesus in the next video, which is going to be officially from right now, which is 9:26 Eastern Standard Time. Excuse me. That's the east coast of Australia. Within 24 to 28 hours from now. So what I'm saying is, in that 3.5 hour window, okay, there's going to be a broadcast, and I'm going to present Jesus to everybody, the true Jesus. So if anyone picks this up in between now and then, please invite people, whatever. I don't really mind. I don't care. I'm just going to do my job and bring the information, unravel the information, do what God's compelling me to do, making me feel urged to do. And I'm just going to bring the information and then just leave it, because that's the way it's supposed to be. And once it's on the internet, then it's, sorry, but it hits all four corners of the earth. It hits the whole earth. It even goes underwater to each land. It even goes through the air to each land. And this is what God meant. I know this is what he meant by the good news we preached. And that good news, people don't actually I don't know if everyone, but I haven't heard anyone say, oh, the good news of Jesus Christ, here, that's here. They tell you it's the New Testament. That's what they tell you. The New Testament is the good news. Yeah, well, you'll find out. You'll find out soon, shortly, when my next video is up. You'll find out just you'll find out the truth about that. Okay. So I thank you, and brothers and sisters, those of you who are being sealed and are sealed and will be sealed, like God says, some will make it by the skin of their teeth. Basically, sorry, I don't know the exact words. I can't remember the exact quote of the verse, but God says some will make it. Just make it in. Okay, just make it. Right. So that'll happen before what? Before it all goes boom and bad. Well, that's not going to happen yet. That's not going to happen until it all comes good. So that basically everyone's looking around and going, well, looks like everyone's getting along. Finally, we have peace and security. Because it's not, God says that the end will be when they're saying peace and security. For when they say peace and security, sudden death, sudden destruction will come upon them. They've been saying it for decades, guys. If you look through a lot of speeches that go back a long way, peace and safety, peace and security are mentioned a lot of times in a lot of different people's, talks and UN speeches and whatnot. A lot of times, people are independent. So it is for when they are saying that the end will come. So the end's going to come in the period that they are saying this. We're in that now. They're saying it. Doesn't mean that when they say it, as soon as they say it, bang, it's going to happen. Who are the they are talking about? The they're talking about is everybody. Not everybody's on the same page yet, are they? So what's going to happen? They're going to make it so they can show. Not. It doesn't mean that it is safe and peaceful, but it means that they're going to be able us that basically they're going to, as far as I'm concerned, they're going to artificially tell us that it's all fine, no more war, everyone's getting along, it's all great. And where are we heading? That's where we're heading. You know what's going to happen. It's obvious what's going to happen. They're going to forgive Russia because it's going to come out. Russia didn't do anything wrong because they've got to bring down the government. They've got to bring down the American government. They've got to bring down the CIA and the FBI and the whole government. And by doing that, they're going to bring down everything. They're going to bring down the entertainment industry, all the things that they've built up, all these different things, all the stuff around you. They've got to bring it all down. It's all got to come down. Why? Because it creates this badness. So what are they going to do? Probably try and force people into some sort of religious way of being. Yeah, like an antichrist type of religion, but compelled, forced, made to do it. And not just made as in it's a law, made as in, well, no, if you don't, sort of thing. We're heading there. We're almost there, guys. It's not far. It's right there. Anyway, since the two witnesses of the Twin Towers, and if people, because a lot of people listen to people that espouse to know what the Bible says and have read it and studied it, who don't mention anything about Revelation 11 when they're talking about Revelation 12. When Revelation 12 is mentioned in verse 11, which is the last verse of Revelation 10, which continues on as though it's one continuous chapter into the first verse of Revelation 11, as if though God literally takes a breath and keeps talking. He tells Daniel that he needs to speak Revelation 12 again. He needs to prophesy Revelation 12 again. So Revelation 12 actually belongs at the beginning of Revelation 11. People don't tell you that. Why? Because they don't read that. They're not doing that. What they're doing is they're looking for the signs. So by looking for the signs, they're missing the information. So they're going straight to the sign, which they don't listen. They don't look at 11, and they don't even know that Revelation 12 is mentioned at the end of Revelation 10. How can they even know how to decipher what Revelation 11 is? Remember that in Revelation, it's explained to Daniel that this is about things that are, things that were, and things that are yet to come. So what it does is it gives us a version of things that have happened, things that have happened in between that one and the next one, and where we are now looking at this one. And some things have happened, some things are happening, and there is one yet to come. Like 2 woes have passed, and we're waiting for another one. And the next one comes quicker than the last two. The last two, what, 100 years between them, basically? Yeah, World War I and II, that's the first woe. And the second woe, 9/11, yeah, the Twin Towers, the 2 witnesses that fall, and they're left laying there while they're bucket brigading for 3.5 days before they bring it in and start to clean her up. And then 3.5 years roughly before, I don't know exactly the number, but I wouldn't be surprised if it wasn't 1,260 days before they declared war, that they were going to go boots on. The people that they were blaming, and they're saying, get rid of your weapons of mass destruction. And they sent a man named Hans over there to look for arms. Sorry, weapons of mass destruction. Ironic, man named, hello, my name is Hans and I'm looking for arms. Come on, they're playing with you people. Anyway, so there's, your 3.5s and stuff coming there. But who knows? Like, I know something. Times and half a time. That's not referring to 3.5 years. It's not referring to, just because 1,260 years equals 3.5 years doesn't mean God's saying that times and half a time means 3.5 years. Why would he have 3 different notions of the same thing in the same chapter? Why? All in the same area and stuff, all sort of interloping almost. Why? Because they don't mean the same things. They don't have. See, God tells us things like a day will equal a month and stuff. I can't remember. I'll have to look at that. It's all in the same place. Anyway, what I'm saying is that the marking, the witnesses, they're witnesses for God, yet they stand before the God of the earth, who is Satan, because they are his agents, not God's agents. And when God calls, gives them the breath, gives them life back, calls them up, not calling up the Twin Towers, he's not calling up 2 witnesses, Elijah and Muhammad, or whoever people think. Elijah and Muhammad. Sorry, Moses. Sorry about that. No, he's talking about the people who have died in Christ. Rise. Okay? So that will happen when? In the middle of this period, times and half a time, which is when? 2017. We had an eclipse. We had the sign of the Revelation 12. We had these things happen at the time when they were meant to happen, the halfway point, declaring that what 24 hours have fallen, have come down off their, or are coming down off their their thrones, their chairs that are seated around the throne of God. The ones, that were concerned about how long, and will the suffering have to go on, and now that people are finding out what's happening behind the scenes, and that's in our day. Imagine what was going on before, the ability for us to get information out. And I mean, the further you go back, the more you get back into the control mechanisms that were more in the dark ages, which were more brutal, and which we have in our history. Like when the First Reich went out and started killing people, calling them witches, because they were, exposing that the churches weren't teaching the Bible. Anyway, yeah, there's it's a big game that they've played on everybody. But anyway, I sort of got lost myself there. Let me get back on track. Yeah, this they've done is they've tried to kill this information, because if you don't know Jesus, then it's harder to get to him. Many people have been through the Roman Catholic Church. Many people are Catholics. Many people call themselves Christians. Many people follow the New Age Christians. Many people are born again. Many people are all these different things. Do they have a cross, which is a idol emblem? Do they use things like that? Do they make the cross sign and say Father, Son, Holy Ghost and things like the Trinity? They believe in that. Do they worship Mary? Do they call Mary the Mother of God? These sorts of things. Do they celebrate Christmas? Do they not know that there were 9 of each kind of animal, of 9 of each kind of animal that was taken into the ark with Noah? Do they know these things? No. A lot of them believe the traditions and the rituals that they've been taught, not what the Bible teaches, not what the Bible says. But they've been shown that this is what the Bible says. So they just believe it. But what they're not being shown is, you're being shown this bit, that bit, and this bit, but what they're not showing you is, here, look, here, and here, which are all with this literature that they're trying to use to justify whatever. I can show you it's unjustified, but they won't show you that. But then whose fault is it if all they do is not give you the information? Is it mine for believing it, or is it theirs for teaching it or not teaching it? It's mine. He's standing at the door knocking. Every man who opens the door to him, he will come into you. Okay? Not standing at the door knocking, waiting for the vicar to let him know how many have come in. You see? What they've taught clashes with what the truth is. So they've taught you a counterfeit version, where they've mixed it in with all the pagan stuff. And also given it such a bad name and put such a bad rap around it, which is all misinformation, a lot of it misinformation, because they don't show you the whole picture. They just tell you the points that they want you to hear, so that they can SJW with it, SJWU with it, So, and that's basically it. They're just like, it's inhumane because of this, and this. It's like, well, hang on, why? So you're saying that God doesn't have, just like you throw out things that no longer serve or don't do what you want them to do, even though they belong to you. You own them. You don't throw them out. You don't get rid of them, or at least try and get them fixed. Really? Well, no, of course you do. It's the same thing. And so, like I was saying in the beginning, we hold ourselves on this pedestal that we don't see ourselves as creations. We see ourselves as things that have rights. Yeah, of course you have rights. But we choose to let this playground, like I was saying at the beginning, outside, influence us. Television and friends and YouTube and Facebook and all of it. All of it. So none of it's designed to help us. Especially when, you try and find truth. And what you got to do is go to my original channel at Beyond the Flat Earth and just type in Beyond the Flat Earth and then scroll. When you get to the bottom, hit next and keep going until you see Wile and Coyote, but not the one with, I don't know how many subscribers or whatever, the one with like 500 roughly subscribers. Keep going until you hit that one. Okay, when you hit that one, you're on my channel. You're looking for Wile Coyote and Roadrunner, and Wile Coyote has turned his back on the Roadrunner, like still looking at him. He's turned around. He's walking away. So it says it's written between them, Beyond the Flat Earth, and that's the name of my original channel. If you watch that, you'll get truth, and the way you know it is because you'll be given a lot more options before you actually get me, which are nowhere near me, and also you'll find people that when I was totally annihilating the globe ball nonsense, I had attacking me. Now I have people that they've sort of circumvented. So, and you'll see what I mean when as soon as you type that in, Beyond the Flat Earth, and you hit enter, and you start and you scroll, and you've seen it already, but you haven't seen the Wile E. Coyote and Roadrunner yet. You're gonna go, hang on. There is two, and I'm not saying that the other ones are fake. What I'm saying is there's two Wile E. Coyotes. They look exactly the same, except one has 500 subscribers. That's the one with all my videos that I put on. Okay. The other one is a backup channel. Okay. But it was, I couldn't do my original before I was unable to get into my original anymore. So sorry about that. But yeah, so if you want to see what I've spoken about in the past and the truth that I've already brought, and the way I've already shown that NASA is lying, I'm the only one that I know on the internet that actually has proof, observational proof, beyond a reasonable doubt, beyond any doubt. You cannot deny it. Proof that there's no way the sun is 93 million miles away. Okay, I have proof. I'm the only one that I know that has ever brought it out. Others might have since, but I was the first one to bring it out, and no, I haven't heard flat earthers talking about it. It's proof, undeniable. And I've also got examples that they tell us about space, which I prove undeniably that with the knowledge we already know, we know that that's not true what they tell us. And also the Bible is in there. I was the one who brought out what's it called? What was it called? It starts with P. Oh, come on. Copernican principle, the principle. Okay. I'm the one who brought out the principle video originally. I got up to 83,000. It was going viral so damn quick. Like, I only had it up for a few days, and they copyrighted me, and I had, it wasn't nowhere near copyrighted bannable. It wasn't. It was not copyright worthy. I was accused of having it, of downloading it from a video, my own video. I didn't. I pulled it straight off YouTube. I waited 4 years I waited for 4 years for it to come because I knew that they were holding it back. Sorry, 2 years, 2.5, nearly 3 years, for it to be released because they were taking them through court to stop it coming out. I was the one that realized, oh, bang, put it out there, challenged people, and made it spin on its head. And I said, no. I've got a video that go to my channel, and I'll pull it up. The top leading scientist saying that we're in the center of everything, the universe. We're in the middle, not the sun, nothing else. We are. See, I've got proof. I've got proof that we are the center of everything, and everything moves around us. We don't spin. I can prove that the sun moves around above us, just above us. There's no way you can see the footage. You can see the footage or the view that I'm showing if it's 93 million miles away. If it's a million miles away, you still couldn't. You would not be seeing what you're seeing in the view that you see that I'm showing, saying there's no way, NASA's lying, or science is lying, and so is the church, because they were the ones pushing it. They're the ones that put the globes in the schools. Anyway, and they're the ones that flipped. They're the ones that flipped from flat to ball. They're the ones that flipped first. So that got the, see, what did the king do? He went to the church and got them to coax the people into changing the belief system based on science, who were working with the schools, who were inventing things and all this sort of stuff, and chemistry and all that, back in the day, and so of course that's where their effort's going to go. And if they're going to back these people who are in these institutions, who are put there by the government, who are the ones that are trying to control the people, then they're the ones who are going to go to the church and have the church try and do the reinforcing and help get them to bring it about. So they've always used the church, and that's what they did with the ball too. But like I'm saying, you can go to my original channel and see straight up, wrong, not true. I did not. Yeah, I'll bring it up. I did not I did not steal it, the principle. I got it from YouTube, and all I did was copy it, and then I changed it so that it was black and white, and then voices were changed, and the picture was jumpy, like it was, jittery. Also that I could have it changed the right amount of percent to keep it from copyright, but didn't work, did it? They copyrighted it still, even though they had no standing ground. Why? Because it was going viral too fast. 83,000 views in like 2-3 days. It was moving too fast, and I was like, oh no. And so they jumped on it, and they also jumped on me. And a year before, remember Obama sold the rights to YouTube law and stuff. Yeah, remember it? It's not under the Constitution anymore. Remember he did it already? And well, I complained about it, and I tried to scream and shout it to everyone that we have to petition it, because in a year it can be enacted. If we haven't stopped it from being enacted, if no one does anything, it's going to be enacted. He's going to sell the rights, or to a private entity or another country, and bang, there goes our rights, and there goes our, you know, and there goes my ability to have the same chance to have my stuff seen as everyone else. Now it can be biased because the rules don't belong. They no longer reside under the Constitution. People forgot about this. And now all this barring and shadow banning and stuff and what they do to me, all this is coming out, and people are complaining and stuff. Hello, they started doing it to me a year before it was implemented. When I started screaming about it, when I was bringing it, when people were starting to find out the truth, and then all of a sudden my views went, they all halted, and you go and look at my channel. There's no way. There is no way that I have some of the views that I have on some of the videos that I have that are, and you know, and have that many subscribers for starters. But and that be years ago. Do you know what I mean? My first couple of videos that I put out, yeah, 501 subscribers, right? So look, I'll bring it up and I'll show you. Right. Okay, just let me put you on. So I'm broadcast to everyone. I'm gonna do it on the other one. Hello. It just froze. As soon as I went to do it, it froze. Yep, there we go. Okay, it just unfroze, but it doesn't matter because it's going to disconnect and reconnect. Okay, do whatever you want to do. I just got to wait that minute because I put a delay on so that, you know, my voice doesn't come through jittery and stuff. It has enough time to actually, you know, get me clear and broadcast me clear. Okay, maybe I can. We'll see. Okay. Share. Present to everyone. This is my channel. Hey, what happened? What happened? That's strange. Why did that do that? I'll show you my first videos. Here you go. You're gonna need to go to share. 113 views on my first video. Really reckon 60 video views on this one where moon wrong, because it shows the Earth rising from the view of the moon. A standing still position on the moon, and how can you do that? The one face faces the Earth. The moon doesn't rotate in conjunction to its face facing the Earth. It sort of does a pirouette, but always faces the Earth. So how can the Earth move in its view at all? That's that one, and then I've got this one here. That's about gravity, its weight, mass. Yeah, we already know it doesn't matter about weight or mass. They'll fall at the same rate. Yeah, they tell us that things move differently through space depending on, you know, in the same gravitational field. Doing exactly the same thing through the field, traveling the same speed, same direction, same distance, on the same trajectory. Everything is exactly the same except have different mass, and they'll tell you different things will happen to those bodies. Yet we know that in a vacuum, that isn't as permanent or absolute as the vacuum they say is up supposed to be. We know in the vacuum that things fall at the same rate. So the gravitational field doesn't affect them differently. It affects them the same, regardless of how heavy they are. So it shouldn't matter that these planets like orbiting from a certain distance and a certain mass and all this, and keeping a, you know, regular orbit, or all this sort of, you know how they've taught it, sun diving, comets that or meteorites and all of it that slingshot the sun. And this all depends on their speed, their trajectory, mass, and their distance from the sun.
Yeah.
You can do the same thing here on Earth in a vacuum, and they don't have different effects. Huh? Exactly. They're stupid. And then I've got like there's a here where you see the sun, and I've drawn lines down to the shadows. If you watch this video, this is what I'm talking about. Where if the sun was 1,000,000 miles away from the surface of the Earth, which is down there, where the shadows are under those clouds, which you'll see watching that video, if the sun was 1,000,000 miles away from the Earth, you wouldn't be in the shot here. You wouldn't be able to look across the face of the Earth and have the sun in the shot with the shadows coming, being laid out like that. They would all be towards us, elongated. The sun would be low on the horizon, and it'd be in the afternoon. But this, as you can see from the shadows, where they end up, it's not true. They where they end up. What's this update? Yeah, they're trying. Hey, no, you can still see me. Okay, cool. Sorry, I just didn't know what was going on because I can't see my Google Hangouts up there anymore. So I don't know how to get back to it from here. Anyway, and then this is the same thing here. Except I'm using this guy who's got this jet, this he's called the Jetman or something like that. Anyway, and he flies around here, and it's in Peru, I think. It's where the big statue of Satan is. Well, they say it's a statue of Jesus, but there's no way because it doesn't gel with the Bible. Statue will make no engraved images of anything in heaven or on earth and bow down and worship it. Sorry, that's wrong. And if anything, that depiction is probably more close to what Satan looked like, because Jesus wouldn't, he wouldn't advertise himself like that. But see how low my views are here. I see it all says a year ago. It's not a year ago. These weren't put out a year ago. Look, this is my video. 2016, May 30th, 2016. 2 years ago. The liars. And see this? My other videos don't get promoted. You see? None of these videos have anything to do with the shadows and the light and the sun and all that proving stuff. That one might actually. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think it does. But come on, it's wrong. Wishes it all. I wish the flat Earth people pay attention. Showed them. I did it all. I know exactly what it's like. Exactly how it works, and I can prove it. I can. Everyone I spoke to, everyone I used my, the way I see it now, the Earth. Everyone from all over the world that questioned me and asked me questions and tried to see if I could answer things, that anomalies that couldn't be answered by the globe and stuff. I put them to rest. Be like, oh, that's because you're here. You're being told that the needle points that way, but it's not, because that's the way north is, isn't it? And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, well, no, actually, it's here. Look, there's north over there. That's the North Pole there from your position. So from your position, now if we take your needle, right, and we point your needle so it's pointing west, not north, west. Now where's the sun going to come from? Yeah, it's going to look like it's coming from the south. Yeah, of course. So like things like that. And other people in other countries, I'm like, hey, in your country, the sun basically rises from this direction, hey? Like, not from the east, but from this direction. And they're like, yeah. And I'm like, yeah. See, so without me having that first-hand knowledge and only getting it from how I see the world working, and how I see the flat Earth working, And how I see my model, which is all in my videos. If you want to know, you just go, you'll see it. You go through my videos and you'll find that I explained all this. But as I got right near the end, my last video, I start to hint at how I think I've nutted it, and then bang, they stopped me from being able to broadcast. So that's no longer able to. And we'll go back and I'll show you what I'm talking about. This video right here. This one right here. Explaining the sun on the flat earth. All right. Once I did that, I started getting hassled. I started having troubles with my channel. Then I put this one out where this guy used, they took insects up into the ISS apparently. And they even say, I think the astronaut or whatever, scientist in space says that these insects are flying around faster than the ISS at the moment because they're moving inside the ISS while moving with the ISS. Same as the moon, but they say the moon doesn't speed up and slow down. You've heard the debates that they have on, all the flat earth debate channels. Me and Poncho Pete started that debate. And they've never been able to fix it, never been able to say, prove that we're wrong. At the same time, I'll put out a video here proving that even NASA says that should be what you see. If it happens to the insects with the ISS, and if we're just a ball with the moon doing the same thing, like having something fly along beside it, but at a different speed than it while circling it as it goes along, it's the same thing as the ISS going along and having something moving independent to it, but with it, yeah, then you should see the background move, parallax, that sort of stuff. And people will say, oh, but it does. And I'm like, no, because half of the year, the moon's it's always on the outside of you when it's full, because the sun is on the inside of you. So you're always looking away from the sun. So when you're on the other side of the sun 6 months later, you're looking away from the sun at the same time as well. Yet the moon doesn't move slower or faster or seem to progress further or less distance each night, depending on which way it's going, dependent to, its spin and travel and moon movement. Yet it would, based on this very video here. Also here with light, I proved that, well, if light comes all the way from Neptune and it's only the light being reflected from the sun being beamed back at us, and that's how we're seeing Neptune there, then for starters, they've always said Neptune's there, and they've mapped mapped out how the system all worked and how far it was and all that. Before they had satellites, they said they've been saying they're sending up and out, or out and up, or whatever you want to call it, to explore and prove all this stuff that they claimed that light traveled out there and back. And any physicist would say that light came from 4 hours below the position it is at now. So therefore, if I was to make a prediction based on physics of when Neptune is at the time the light hits my eyes, it has to be 4 hours ahead of its position in its orbit, and in its orbit with the sun around the Milky Way. Okay, so therefore it should be lower than what the actual ecliptic plane is that the planets are riding on in real time. So it's delayed light, 4 hours delayed. So therefore its position should be delayed 4 hours, not the ecliptic where it seems to reside and the light seems to be instantaneous. But the way I sort of hurdle that as well, because people, they just, for some reason, that their brain, their cognitive dissonance kicks in, and it's just really strong. But also, if the light can travel from the sun to Neptune, and Neptune, what's Neptune supposed to be? Water. And then you've got other planets like Jupiter's gas. What's the gas made of? Silver iodide? Mirror material? Water? Oh, okay. Would it reflect like a bright speck of light? Like that bright? Do you know what I mean? Bacchus? Okay, so they say it does. Light travels from the sun out to it, bounces off it, comes back and hits you in the eye. It takes 8 hours to do that whole thing. And apparently the light that hits reflects off it, reflects off the face it hits in that whole hemispheric direction outwards. So it's a lot of light that's coming off of Neptune. Yet we're only supposed to be getting lucky to be getting like, you know, two photons, let alone, you know, more. You know, there's basically one photon hitting your eye because, you know, but that meant it would blink in and out. It wouldn't do what it does. And yeah, if we're moving, it's stupid. But the way you prove that they're lying is by, I can do a simple experiment here on Earth that proves that their theory is wrong. Just go into any bathroom that has opposing mirrors. Turn the light off. Does the light stay in the room? No. Why not? Light a lighter. Take a lighter, a candle. Just light it and put it right between the two mirrors. You find the most opposed mirrors that are flatly opposed or, you know, directly opposed to each other, an angle off. And even if it does angle off, it just means that the light should dim slower, and each window in the reflection should sort of turn off. Really, it should, shouldn't it? Because the light just bouncing, bounce between them. So really, the way we would light dark rooms is you would take a light source in there, you would make the room so it's completely mirrors. All the walls are mirrors. And then, or you just have a box that's just a mirrored box, but it's two-way. So the light inside bounces off the inside, but from the outside we can see into the box. So if we can see into the box, we can see the light in the box. So therefore, you just have to have a box that's a two-way mirrored box, and you just go and put a light source in it, take it out, close the box, and the light just reflect in there forever, therefore never needing to light another source. All we need is opposing mirrors. See, this is crazy. If light reflects, you can trap it. If it reflects off a mirror, you can trap it in a mirrored box. Yet you can't, can you? Once you turn the light source off, the light goes away. Where's it go to? If it can travel away to Neptune, bounce off it, and come back and hit us in the eye, and we can see it, and it had to travel there. Well, then, how is bouncing from one mirror to another continuously not the same as it traveling all the way out to Neptune or just out from the sun? It's no different, but it is in reality. We cannot do it. You can't put a light source between two opposed mirrors that are opposed and have the light bounce between them forever. Doesn't work. Once the light source is gone, so is the light. What does that tell you? Tells you light doesn't travel, doesn't it? So what are they? How has this been happening? Because they're in control of the system, my friends. It's Satan's system. And if you try to measure something with an instrument, and you put out a magnetic field from that instrument, you're going to change the behavior of something that if it's an electric magnetic field itself. So if light is a wave, not a particle, it's a field, a wave, and you introduce something that has its own field that disturbs the field of the other field, it's going to change its outcome, no matter where you put it. And you can say it goes back through time and changes its mind, and I can say, no, it gets to your field and changes, and that changes its behavior and puts it in the position it was when you put the detector right up close to the photon firer. You know what I'm talking about, double slit experiment. Yeah, most people know about it. See, that what I don't understand is them. What I don't understand is they tell us that this is how things are, and then they lie to us. Because if the oceans have lifted up, this is in these videos too. If you have a look through, I've got a video about this. If the oceans are being lifted, right? But if you want to see the scientists saying that the Earth is the center of the universe, look at my playlist. Was in there too. I think it's just down actually. Michio Kaku's head right there, I'm pretty sure. Yep, there you go. That's it. It says it right there. I got it back. Right there, look. 311 views. The one I had, the version I had, is exactly the same version I had, or almost. I shook it up a little more. The one I had before this, the version I had before this, had 38,000 views in a couple days. It was going viral. Anyway, yeah. A lot of things don't do what they say. We can prove it. Yet 501 subscribers, look. And only one video that's above 500, and it's the blood one. Where is it here? That one right there. How precious is your blood? And that one has no talk of God and Jesus at all, or flat earth. It's the only video I have that doesn't talk about any of it. The only thing it talks about is not needing transfusions and things. They've got technology that they don't need to do that anymore. Okay, but that's the only video. Oh no, sorry. Oh no, look there. Here we go. I've got two here. Of course, yeah, those two. Okay, look, that's almost up to 1,000. That's a long time ago too. This feels like another lifetime ago. Ooh, wow. Anyway, so yeah, that one there, 1,600. It's been at that for a long time now, actually. But yeah, how can my channel have views like this? How can it look? I've got 24 and stuff. Where are they? Like 50 views, 44, 33. It's my first videos, man. What are they talking about? They're crazy. And I've been taking screenshots of things and stuff. Oh yeah, this is what I was talking about. Sorry, I went off topic before. There's me proving the cross and giving all the information where you can look it up yourself. See, 33 views. Anyway, Trinity over there. Anyway, here, yeah, bubbles. Because if the moon's gravity lifts the oceans, and then when it's a new moon, the moon and the sun double up, and both of their gravity pulls on the oceans. Why during full moon or a new moon, when it's midday or midnight, can't you blow bubbles and they just float away up, just keep going up and up until they stop? Why do bubbles fall to the ground? I mean, blowing bubbles, you know? Forever blowing bubbles. You know that one? Well, I did the experiment in this video here. Bubbles, the tides. Flat Earth. Bubbles also prove the tides. I did it there. And I showed that a blue heat showing the moon is full, right above my head. Shouldn't it be lifting these bubbles? One of them almost gets a chance. It almost gets above the roof. But yeah, no success. How can it lift all those oceans, but it can't lift a skin of moisture, of liquid, a skin of liquid that has air in it that is hotter than the air outside it, because you use your breath to make it. Why doesn't it just rise? You've given it all the incentive it needs to do it, and don't. Okay? So yeah, if you're interested in that, maybe jump over to that channel over there and check that out. Here, Dutch Sense. That's another one, really good channel. I suggest you check out. It's earthquake prediction, and you'd be surprised at how spot on he is. I've been following him for years now, and good old Dutch, he does a great job. The Dutch and the Duchess, and he forecasts. Tell you where an earthquake, where earthquakes. He does an earthly forecast, the whole Earth. He still thinks he's on a ball. I would love to be able to explain things to him a bit better. I reckon I could help him understand them a little better. But he thinks he's on a ball, so he's looking at it from a perspective, which gives him a warped perspective. Anyway, yeah. And yeah, so I'm just promoting Dutch because he hasn't let me down, and he's very honest. If he gives himself a 200 kilometer or 200 mile radius, if he's outside of that by 1 mile or half a mile, I don't know about half a mile, but if he's outside of that, I mean literally, he doesn't screw around. It doesn't like go, oh, well, that's close enough, isn't it? No, he goes, oh, I'm outside. It's a missed forecast. Sorry, it's wrong. And an earthquake, exactly what he said would happen. It's the same right magnitude, but just outside by a hair's breadth, and he won't claim it. He's an honest man. He's the first one who also coined the term. Was it called harpering? And before the army started using it, and after the government and all the same scientists that tell us we're on a ball, but then try and hide a video where they actually give us evidence and tell us no, we're the center of the universe, and everything goes around us, and they wouldn't have a clue what we're on. The same scientists, believed. It's anyway. I've had enough of that. But yeah, if you want to check my channel out, that's it there. And that'll give you an idea. There's like 63 videos or something there that I put my name to. I stand behind, and it's a lot of truth. So it's up to you, okay? If you want to know whether or not I'm worth listening to, whether or not I can be trusted, at least check out some of my videos, maybe. The religious ones they obviously they all come with what's it called? Where I got my information, where the cyclopedias, not encyclopedias, but cyclopedias before, and what they call lexicons and all this sort of thing. Yeah. So I give all my sources. That's the word. All my sources and everything for it in my religious ones, and you also see my journey into and beyond the flat Earth, because I've left them behind, guys. I'm no part of the flat Earth society. I'll tell you that much. I'm not a flat earther either. I'm a Bible believer, and I let God tell me what's true and what's not, and the Bible, because God told us it's good for teaching, reproving, setting matters straight. It's good for everything, and it has served me well. It hasn't let me down yet. Interpretation, then it doesn't let me down at all. And every time you get people together and they're speaking about the Bible or what they think is the Bible, it's usually their opinion or someone else's opinion or what someone else taught them or told them that they're talking about, which is therefore ends up in arguments and whatnot. But I'm telling you, if you talk about the Bible, the truth, and you don't interject any of your outside influence, there's never any arguments. I've never argued with people over Bible content. It doesn't go into an argument because of what I'm saying ever. And I've had an argument, big argument or anything over the Bible. I've lost friends because lost a lot of people who I used to, fellowship with, all because I turned around and said, I don't believe that what they're telling us is true. And look, I can prove it. They ran, and I'm not allowed to fellowship with them. I'm allowed to, but it's just as long as I keep that information to myself and don't tell anyone. And God tells me the opposite. So I just will respect them, and it's their choice to be there, and it's their choice to let them have their own leaders or whoever they want over them, and let them make their decisions. And they're the ones who told me I can't say anything, so I have to, Bible tells me, I can't force it down their throat. But, anyway, so we got left. Okay. For the last time, between now and between 20 to 24 hours between 24 hours and I can't do the maths. I don't know, it's like 27 and a half hours or something like that. So in that 2.5 hour window, I'm going to be bringing out a video. Keep your eyes out for it. It'll be during, midnight sort of time for me, but for those in other regions like America, that'll be a time when they'll be awake at least to be able to get it and be able to join in. So yeah, if you're interested in meeting Jesus, let me know, or don't let me know, just be there, or take note of at least when it gets uploaded after I've gone live and it's been done, and you'll find out, and the good news will be preached in all the earth, fulfilling that, and it's just a matter of them being sealed, and the end will come. Yep. Anyway, I'm going to go, guys, and say thank you all very much for all of that. Where is... Hello? Oh, there we go. Cool. Stop broadcasting. Thank you very much. And yeah, God bless. Love you all. And thank you. Bye.